It's a 7-mile drive from the bottom of the mountain up to uh, the parking area at McCamey Lake and the hiking trails down to Benton Falls. And along the way, there are at least 4 overlooks that you should take time to look at. This is the first one. This is called the Lake View Overlook. And it's probably, if not my favorite, it's at least one of my top 2 favorites. And I try to stop here every time I drive up the mountain, but especially in the fall when there's a lot of fog out over the water or the colors have changed, and especially around sunrise. It's just absolutely gorgeous. You can see Sugarloaf Mountain in the background, and from here you can clearly see the marina at the bottom of the mountain, and it's really the only view that you're going to get that looks this clear. So if you are driving up the mountain, this is one of the overlooks. I would say, whatever you do, don't drive past it. Make sure you stop. The second overlook you come to is another view of Sugarloaf Mountain, but it's not a great view. And the reason it's not a great view is because you can't really see the marina below. But it still does give you a really nice vista out across the horizon. And for me, I think one of the major reasons to stop here, maybe the only reason to stop here, is to look off to your right and stand on some rocks over here and look at the view underneath this tree with the branches coming out over. If you're taking pictures, that's a beautiful picture to take. The third stop up the mountain is the Chilhowee Mountain Overlook. And while it has an absolutely beautiful, beautiful view, it's not my favorite view. You can still see Sugarloaf Mountain, but the angle that you're seeing it from is not really perfect. However, if you look over to your left and you see all of these rows of mountains, this is where the sun comes up in the morning, and you will come up here before sunrise and find a lot of cars parked right along here, just waiting for the sun to come up. And if Photo Pills or some other app tells you that the sunrise is at 6:30, it's going to be about 6:45 here because the sun has to get up over those mountains. But it is definitely worth the drive. Out of all of the overlooks, this is probably, if not my favorite, at least tied with my favorite with the very first stop we had. This is called the Gazebo Overlook, and you can tell by looking around here that it's based on the fact there's a gazebo here. And it has been partially defaced by graffiti and other things, but it's still a beautiful place to stop. And, I mean, come on, look at this view. As a bonus feature coming up the mountain on your way to McCamey Lake and Benton Falls, there is a brief historical site that you can visit. And it's the site of a Confederate Army base. There's some inscriptions on the rocks here, but it's so worn out now that you can't read it, and the Park Service has not done a very good job of keeping that up to let you know exactly what's there. But it is worth getting out of the car and going to before you finally get to your final destination. I went up to Chilhowee Mountain today looking at their campground because this is where I'm thinking about going on my next camping trip that I'm working on in a week or two. Waiting on my new refrigerator to come in for that one. And I sort of had in my head I would make a video around Lake McCamey. And I chose not to do that for 2 reasons. First of all, there were a lot of kids out. I mean, it's July 4th, come on. So a lot of kids out, they were all swimming and, families out. And I didn't want to get in their way. And second of all, it's $3 to park there, and I didn't have $3. That might have been the only reason I didn't stick around. So I thought, okay, I toyed with this idea about on the way up, but I didn't stop to do any of this video because I thought I would do it at the lake. So actually, if we're looking at the technical side of this video, I recorded it all backwards. I started at stop number 5 and worked my way down the mountain to stop number 1. Couple of things that I chose to do. I chose to only be on camera talking in the very first spot, which is the lake
view overlook. One thing that I did do, and it's very subtle, not sure if anybody caught it or not, but it was just something I sort of had in mind. Every opening shot in each of those 5 scenes has my car in it. Different angles, whatever, but it's looking at me walking somewhere with the car in the image. That was a decision I made. It has absolutely no impact on how good or bad this video is. It was just something I thought I would try and work on. I did record it all in ProRes Log. I've learned that I've been doing a couple of things wrong in editing ProRes Log footage, so I wanted to try to edit it again. And this time I had so many clips, instead of just trying to airdrop everything, I just plugged in an external hard drive, moved everything over there, and plugged that hard drive into the iMac and moved everything over to the iMac. That's a slow process. If you're thinking about doing that, it is a slow process. And it's not something that I want to do every day with these videos. It's something that I would do if I get to the point where I'm just making 1 video a week. I would probably do that. But to try that every single day, it just bogs down the whole editing process, and I don't have time for that. So it was an experiment today, but it's not anything to write home about. The only other thing about this video is I went and I took all of the video shots that I tried to get enough. And then I just sat down with the DJI Mic 2 and with no cameras rolling, just recorded the audio into the mic for stops 2 through 5. And then I just brought that audio in and edited the clips around it. So it was sort of after I'd gotten all the clips and sort of had in my head what everything looked like, I could talk about certain things about the spot because I knew I had it in the camera. That's really it. If you do go up to Chilhowee Lake sometime, or Chilhowee Mountain, McCamey Lake, stop at an Overlook. They are absolutely beautiful. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we will see you tomorrow. Happy 4th of July. It's a day late, I know. I'm recording this on the 4th of July. It also happens to be my dad's birthday, and he would have been 91 this year. So happy birthday, Dad. We'll see you tomorrow.